Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Suzanne Mose. I'm one of the curators here at the Niagara Falls History Museum, and welcome again to Not at the Museum Thursday nights. Before we get started, I would like to do our land acknowledgement. The Niagara Region of Ontario is located on the traditional shared territory of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Chinatun peoples. The Chinatun people have called these lands home for thousands of years, and more recently, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, have been sharing this land as one dish, one spoon treaty territory. So important words with the tragedy that's unfolding out west right now. So tonight we're going to continue with our 2021 Coming Out Stories series. This is our third year for hosting this fantastic set of conversations. And it's important to remember that these evenings are designed for both the LGBTQ plus community as well as the straight community. And each night, we're always really excited to welcome a different special guest, someone who's willing to come on and talk to us and share their personal experience, their personal coming out story, to their families, to their community. And we at the museum are thrilled to be considered a safe space for an event like this and to be working with our partner, Falynn Shaw. So a good reminder is that this program offers an open dialogue about gender and sexuality. And it is worth noting that there may be sexual references during these conversations tonight. So as usual, I'm going to hand it over now to our host, Falynn, with a big thank you for continuing to work with us, Falynn. And I look forward to meeting and learning from Darryl tonight. So have fun, everybody.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. Welcome, everyone. My name is Falynn Shaw, and this is Coming Out Stories. Tonight, I have a very special guest. This is someone that I've known for quite a while, who I also consider a friend, Darryl Dyball, AKA Macy Manolo.
Yay! Hi, Falynn. How are you?
I'm well. Welcome to the show. It's so awesome to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And thank you so much for asking me. And thank you to Niagara Falls Museums for putting together. This is fabulous. Thank you.
I think it's important that we start conversations like this. Not many people get to see what's behind the drag scene or, you know, the person behind the makeup. And I thought you would be a great representation to kind of let everybody know what's going on in the drag community here in Niagara.
Oh, thank you. So this is such a privilege. And I know there are so many fabulous drag performers. And I am so grateful that you chose me because there are so many amazing kings, queens, performers, whatever the case. So,
and this is so true, but because we do go back, I mean, I actually got to know you when I was in my early formative years. I was working at a place called Club Rendezvous, and you would come in either in drag or as Darryl, and I got to know both. And I just felt like, who else would I choose but someone that I know? And I also see you doing so much work in the community. And I mean, that's basically the type of people I look for when I want to have them on the show. So thank you so much.
Thank you. This is going to be amazing.
I want to say, I know that you did have something you were doing earlier. You know, you actually have a lot going on with Pride, this being Pride Week. You're also with Pride Niagara. So I just want to thank you for being able to do this show, knowing that your schedule was really heavy. And I can't wait to hear more about your story. I know you as a person, and I know Macy as a character, but it'd be really great to get to know you as before Macy. Like, tell us kind of how it all started.
Oh yeah, the BM before Macy. Yeah, so first off, happy Pride Week, everyone, and thank you so much for joining in or tuning in. I'm really excited to be here, as I said. Yeah, today has definitely been a busy day. I was in drag. I went downtown St. Catharines to film a little number with the beautiful new progressive flag crosswalk. And then I went and did a little stop by with a friend and said hello to them, came home, changed my makeup, changed my hair, changed my outfit, and here we are. But it's so worth it. We get to share our stories and chat tonight. So this is fabulous. This is so important. So yeah, let's start the coming out stories. Picture it, Sicily. No. I love the Golden Girls, I know.
Sophia.
Yeah, bless her. Bless. So yeah, so I came out when I was 19 years old. That is when I decided, you know, this is what I'm going to do. I was working at Old Navy at the Penn Center at the time, actually. And one night I went to, do you remember, and I'm going to date myself now. Do you remember the bar, My Cottage in Port Dalhousie?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
I'm dating myself as well.
Right. So it was a Saturday night, and myself, my friend Maria, my friend Christina, my friend Jamie, the four of us went out to Cottage in Port. We were dancing. And at that time, I really didn't, I'm pretty sure I knew I was gay. I just wasn't comfortable or ready to say anything. So I just lived my life under the radar up until that point. So we were at the club and we were dancing, as we always do. And this guy comes up to me and he gives me a sticker. Like, it was this random sticker. I can't even remember what, maybe it was like a hippopotamus or something. Like, oh my God, thanks. Woo! Continue on partying through the rest of the night, blah, blah, blah. Night's over. My friends, we all go home. The next morning, I'm working at Old Navy at the Penn Center on cash number 2. I remember this specifically. Specifically. And I look out to my left, and it was the old way the Old Navy was set up at the time. So the cash registers were at the very front, not kind of blocked. So I turned to my left, and when I looked, I saw the person from the guy from the night before at My Cottage. I was like, oh, and that's the first time I actually had feelings.
You realized it.
Yeah, I dated women when I was going through high school, and whatever the case, but I had that, my stomach just dropped in butterflies, and that was the very, very, very first time I've ever felt butterflies in my life, and it was the most magical moment because that's kind of your awakening.
Yeah.
So he walked in and we latched eyes, and obviously I didn't look like this. I looked more like this, minus a bunch of wrinkles. We latched eyes. He walked around the store. He came back and he waited, and it was a busy Sunday. And he waited and waited and waited. And then I was like, sorry, like my job is to cash people out. So he cut in line real quick and says, I'm sorry. And he goes, I'm Steven. And I said, hi, I'm Darryl. Nice to meet you. He goes, nice to meet you. I met you last night. I said, yeah.
Sticker boy.
Right? Like, and he goes, what time you done work? And I told him, I'm done at like 5 or whatever the time was. And he goes, okay, what's your number? And he wrote his number on a receipt, and I wrote my number on a receipt, and we exchanged numbers. And the lady who was at the cash, just like watching this whole thing,
gushing,
she was just probably like, I just want to buy like my 97-cent lip gloss. Let me go home. But as soon as Steven walked away, I said, this is the very first time I've ever been asked out by a boy. And and right now I'm kind of, I'm excited. I haven't talked about this in so long. Wow. This is
you're digging up some memories.
I really am, and feelings that I don't always like to bring up in public. So that was when I met Steven, and he lived in Welland, and he went to Niagara College, and I shouldn't really, well, his name's not Steven anymore, so I guess nobody's gonna know who he is. But yeah, so we went on a date. That was my very first.
Like, he was the original. He was the one that you realized for sure.
Yeah, at 19. It was later in the summer when I met him. So we started to date, and the first kiss with someone who you're actually attracted to is just like fireworks, like crazy and magical moment. And I remember he wore By. That was his cologne, by Dolce & Gabbana. It was a zebra print bottle. Now I'm feeling like a stalker. By cologne and cigarettes. That's what he smelled like.
I think there's a lot of people that dated people that smelled like that at one point.
It's true. So yeah, that was that. We dated for about 4 months, actually. And one day, him and I went to the Penn Center shopping, and my sister was there.
Oh.
And I think she was working at she was working at Sport Check. And so I introduced her. I'm like, Christy, Steven, Christy. Yeah, okay, hi, whatever. She didn't care. Boom, we move on. And I said, okay, I'll get a ride home with my sister, so you don't have to drive back to the other end of St. Catharines for you to drive all the way back to Welland. He's like, okay, talk to you later. So my sister finishes work, and we're driving home. At that time, we were living in Secord Woods in St. Catharines, which is by Hartsel Road area. So my sister's driving and I'm in the passenger seat. And that vehicle at the time was called the Lamborghini. It was a gray safari minivan. The heat worked in the summer, the air conditioning worked in the winter. You had to roll down the windows and you had to push a thing to lock the door. So it was dated. It was dated. So we're driving the Lamborghini down Hartzell Road, right by where the Audi dealership is. And I said to my sister, I said, "Oh, so what do you think of Steven?" And she said, "I think he's gay." My sister just said, "I think he's gay." And I said, and I don't know, I don't think I skipped a beat. And I said, "So am I." That was the,
That's like it came right out.
happened. And I didn't even have that, stop. It's just like, bleh, it came out. So am I. And my sister's like, "What?" And we almost swerved off the road. Oh my God. Anyone watching, please do not come out while your sibling or family member is driving. Wait till a red light. So my sister started to cry and she's like, oh my gosh. And my parents got a divorce like many years beforehand. And my sister said, and this part stuck with me. She goes, "You're ruining our perfect family." And I'm just like, girl. Our parents are divorced. Guess what? So she composed herself and she was, "Okay, I just don't understand it yet. I don't understand it," which is fair. Like that was quite a few years ago. She didn't know anyone who was gay. And then she said to me while we were still in the car, she said, "Please just promise me you won't start dressing like a woman." Well, here we are today. So that
may have been the encouragement that got you to.
You know what? It might have been hiding in the back of my head, just like, So that was the first time I admitted to anyone that I was actually gay. I kind of, my friend Melanie back, we used to do musical theater together with Garden City Productions, a fabulous community theater company in the Niagara region. I told her one day, I said, "I think I might be bi." And her response was, "Yeah, sure, let's go with that." She clearly knew that.
Yeah.
I was of the gay persuasion. So that was the first time, nonetheless, I said openly that I was gay. After that, I kept things under wraps for for a few months. Steven and I were dating. The night Steven and I broke up, I called my mom and I was upset. I'm pretty sure I called my mom or my mom called our house, our landline. And I was in the basement and I was upset. And my mom's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I said, "Mom, my boyfriend broke up with me." And then she was quiet. She's like, "Oh, well, that's okay." She didn't know what to say. I'm like, what the hell? So that was my coming out with my mom. A week later, she calls me and says, "I want you to read the St. Catharines Standard. There's an article on page like B6. I don't know what it was." So like, okay, whatever. So I get the newspaper and I read it. And it was a newspaper article about HIV and AIDS. Yeah. But once again, back then, there was still so much stigma around HIV right now. Never mind, I'm not going to date myself, a whole bunch of times ago. So that was the first thing that my mom said. Like, she goes, "I want you to read this." And then we kind of got in a slight argument. I'm like, "Mom, I don't have HIV. That's not how it works, blah, blah, blah." So that was that. Then it was time the following summer. So that was about November. So the following summer, my step cousin kind of said like, "Okay, you need to tell your dad and your stepmother." And I was like, "Well, why?" And they go, "Well, it's only fair. You should tell them." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know how. So my step cousin wrote a letter. She typed it out herself. I think she's a nosy Nancy. That's all I'm going to say. She is a nosy Nancy. She wrote this letter that told my dad I was gay, put it into his luggage, and he went away to our family summer house that weekend. So then when he came home, he was like, "I don't want to talk about this. I don't understand it." So for years, it was a don't ask, don't tell with my father. Over time, my mom was pretty cool. I then dated a guy named Jay. We were together for 3 years. We were living together. My mom would come over. My sister would come over. That was all cool. My dad knew about Jay, but we just didn't talk about it. Then I move on cruise ships, and I was on cruise ships for 8 years. I went on
And
ships.
how old were you when you started the cruise ships?
Oh, now I'm gonna date my, okay. Disclaimer, if anyone talks about this after, you're in trouble. So I was 20.
In your 20s, early 20s. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say early 20s, back in 2008. So I went on the cruise ships and I told my family, okay, I'm going to work on ships. I leave in 2 weeks. Bye. They were shocked, but whatever. I did it because I needed to just go. I went on cruise ships. I was surrounded by culture, and it was the most exciting thing being from Niagara,
Especially at that time.
Yeah, we were so whitewashed, like 110% whitewashed. I remember being in high school, and there were maybe a handful of people of color, maybe a handful.
I don't even remember a handful, maybe one or two when I was in high school.
Yeah. So I get to the ship, and I'm standing next to this guy, and he was from Trinidad and Tobago, and his name was Cameron. And I said, "Hi, I'm Darryl." He goes, "Hey, I'm Cameron." Cool, whatever. Little did I know that he was also entertainment and activities staff, and we were roommates. So this was the very, very first time in my life that I got to engage with someone from another country. Turns out he was also gay. So he told me the stories about him being gay in the Caribbean, which isn't as welcoming, I'll say that. So I got to learn about so many different cultures. I was surrounded by gays on the ship. There were gay people, there were lesbians, there were bisexual people, there were transsexual, there were gender fluid people, there were trans folk, which was amazing. Side note, I met 2 amazing women. They were trans women, Stephanie and, oh gosh, I'm gonna ruin it. I can see Stephanie's face right now. I can't remember her wife's name, but they proposed to each other on the cruise ship. And that was my first time seeing, something like actual same-sex couple, getting engaged, and it was just so public. And
it's quite emotional when you see that too.
Yeah, it really is. And that was the first, working on ships, that was my first time to really be engulfed in our community. Like being at home, we would go to the VU. Remember the VU back in the day? That was fabulous.
But that was a Friday, Saturday thing. And then the rest of the week was kind of like ho-hum.
Exactly. You'd be gay on Fridays and Saturdays nights, and sometimes on Sunday nights if there's drag shows. Or if you want to go out partying during the week, you're going to go to Toronto.
Yeah.
Because really being gay in Niagara back then wasn't really the thing.
Even up in the last 5 years, like it really hasn't been the thing. Niagara's a little bit different than some of our surrounding areas, but Toronto and Niagara, night and day.
Oh, completely. And I remember my friend Riley, I would finish a night at Brock, and boom, we would go up to Toronto until like 6 o'clock in the morning and then make our way back for morning classes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just one of those experiences, being surrounded by all these entertainers, and everyone's just like, who cares who you are? It was like a mini United Nations working on the cruise ships. So I was on the ships. I started as activity staff, and I moved up over the years, and it got to the point, and I knew my dad was starting to get to a point of tolerance and acceptance when someone asked what Darryl was doing, and my dad said, he works on cruise ships. He's like Julie from the Love Boat. I will take that as a huge step forward.
That is a huge step.
Yeah, so that was a big one. I've been doing drag, blah, blah, blah. I'll go back into the drag thing in a little bit, but my mom, she knew I was gay. She knew about boyfriends, whatever the case. She didn't care. She was like, yeah, fine, cool. Love who you love. As long as you're not hurting anyone, do it. So I was doing drag, and she wasn't too fond of it, I'm more than certain, until my aunt Bev got my mom tickets for Christmas or for her birthday, one of the two, for Kinky Boots in Toronto, which is a gorgeous show. And from that point onward, when my mom saw the show, she started to understand drag and while I do drag. And it's not just me putting on a dress for the fact that I want to be a woman. She understands the fact that it's entertainment and, all this other fun stuff that goes along with the drag. So Kinky Boots, if you haven't seen it, once things open back up, and if it ever comes back to Toronto, it's a fabulous show. I definitely say check it out. But my mom definitely had that aha moment. And I'm not sure if it was from Kinky Boots onward or maybe slightly before Kinky Boots onward, but every time my mom would get me a Christmas card, a Valentine's Day card, a birthday card, a whatever card, hey, how you doing card, it would always have the word proud on the card. And my family, when they want to really say this is important, they underline it twice. So yeah, my mom, fabulous supporter, my sister, fabulous supporter. You know, I have a partner now, Santiago. We've been together for almost 3 years, which I'm very excited about. It'll be 3 years next month.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, my mom, like Santiago and I live together. My mom and my sister come here. We go to their house, you know. Santiago and myself go to my dad's house. Mind you, for the first while, right? This is huge. This is so big. For the first while, like Santiago's from Ecuador. So he's like my Latin heat. For the first little bit, my mom and my dad, they are divorced, but they both did the same thing. They called him San Diego. And my sister's like, no, it's this. So my sister tells my dad to call him Santi, nice and easy. My mom still calls him Santiago, but my sister had to, I think, coach her into it, like Santiago, not San Diego.
I wanted to interject on your sister. So is it just you and your sister? Or do you have other siblings?
Well,
no, we don't have to go there.
No, I don't mind. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, your sister seems like, even though she was surprised that she was so supportive and she didn't go to your parents and tell them and out you like some siblings do. And I just thought maybe we could touch on that.
Because my parents divorced, and this was back when I was 13, when they split up, my sister and I, well, they said, okay, who do you want to live with, your dad or your mom? I wanted to live with my mom, of course, because I love my mother so much. She's like the rock in my family, and she's an amazing, inspirational woman. But my sister said she wants to live with dad. So I said, well, Christy's going to live with dad, so I'm going to live with Christy. So we ended up living with my dad. And I think it's because we had each other.
Yeah.
Throughout that entire difficult time. So we had each other's backs. And, you know, when we were in high school, our friends would come over when my dad would go out bowling or when he would go and date his girlfriend, now wife at the time. You know, we would have people over to the house and, you know, we broke things like, hold on, get the hot glue gun. And so we had each other's back. We fought like cats and dogs, but we're siblings and that's how it goes.
Yes.
But we had each other's back. And
it sounds like it for sure.
Yeah, it's so funny that she went from the moment of, I hope you don't start dressing like a girl, to the other day, yesterday, she shared the picture of me in drag at the crosswalk on Facebook.
That was such a beautiful photo.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I could just see the pride and just how far we've come in your beautifully decorated eyes.
It's so exciting. And you and I can definitely touch on this. You know, we're not older generation, but we're also not spring chickens. So
but we've seen it both ways. Yeah,
both ways, exactly. And we can appreciate the struggles. You know, some of these younger generations now, I'm not going to say they don't have struggles, because they definitely do. And they need to be acknowledged that there are struggles. So I'm not saying there's no struggles, but we had a lot of crap to deal with back then.
Yeah. And the people before us who we respect too, that had to deal with even the worst crap, you know.
Even more. There's one gentleman that I know, side note, he works at Stonewall Inn in New York City. He was there for the riots. Tree is, I think, 89 years old. Yeah, right. He was there, and he's legit 7 feet tall. And when we see him, when we go do things, wonderful man. He loves to share his stories, and he would tell us. And there's another drag queen in Toronto. Her name is Michelle DeBerry. And I remember hearing her tell stories about when the police would raid the clubs in Toronto, and they would tell the drag queens to lift up their skirts. And if they had ladies' undergarments on, they would get arrested. But if they had men's underwear on, they'd be fine. Isn't that weird?
These are things that most people would never know about. Also, just you mentioned a Michelle from Toronto. I'm not sure if you knew who Michelle Ross was, but we've lost them. And I just want to just say one moment, rest in power, because that person is somebody that when I went to Toronto, that was where I went first, was Cruising Tangos, because I felt allyship with that place.
Yep.
And also talking about some of the things that you're talking about that happened before that most people have no idea about. I mean, there were people that looked to go to places that held gay activities or events just to beat the people up that came out.
Yep.
In some areas in the world, that's still happening, but we've come a long way in this area, I think. And it's to me, it moves me emotionally.
Yeah. Side note, do you remember the table at the back corner by the window near the bar at Cruising Tangos? That was Michelle Ross's table, and it had the rope in front of it, and that was her table. And if you were part of her crew, which I was never cool enough, because she was a goddess.
She would have me on stage to sing with her when I went for Canadian Idol. But like whenever I would come down, I would get up and she'd have me sing my audition and tell people to vote for me. So some drag queens that I've met in Toronto and here, like including yourself, I've learned a lot.
We have a lot of stories to share and to tell, and I am so thankful for having friends on both sides of their lifelines, I guess we could say. So, you know, I'm learning things from the young kids. You know, I got the Instagram going on. I don't have TikTok. I'm not going to deal with TikTok. But I also have those friends who are sharing their stories about the history of our community and the struggles. And this is so important. So please, if there's anyone from a younger generation watching this, or, you know, watching the playback, talk to the elders. I shouldn't say elders, but those people who are older than you. And if anyone tells me that I'm old, like, that's it. You're gonna.
You are timeless. That's a totally.
Oh, you are so sweet, Falynn. But yeah, talk to the community, talk to everyone, talk to the trans folks, talk to the gay folks, talk to the lesbians, talk to everyone, bisexual, talk to people who have a different color.
A lot of the butch lesbians as well. I'll use that term because that is accepted, but a lot of them too have done stuff that we don't even know about because of the way they walk through life. They've already been, you know, it's sad to say that there's been a lot of struggles for everybody in the queer alphabet. I call it the 2S LGBTQIA+. There's a lot of us that have had different stories. And that's why I felt it was so important to have a drag queen on. And I'm going to be having a drag king who you also know, Chase Hart, in a couple months. And and that's a different generation. So we're going to hear from that generation. And I just thought it was important to bring up some of the history that goes along with drag.
We need to share the history, because once those older generations are gone, we're sunk. You know,
we're the ones that keep the stories going.
Exactly. So now should we talk about drag?
Yes.
Like drag coming
Let's get right into how did that all go?
Okay, so it all started at the VU. I had to adjust myself in the chair. I'm so excited about this. So it all started back in the VU, and that's where actually you and I met at Club Rendezvous, the fabulous.
I was the shooter girl, yes.
In back where the old hospital on Queen Street used to be. So we would go there every Friday and Saturday night religiously, Sunday nights depending on if there's a drag show. Now I would go to see the drag shows. Sometimes it would just be like an open show. Other times it would be it was called the Imperial Court of St. Catherine's back then. It's now called the Imperial Court of the Waterfall Empire. So I would just go and watch shows, and I would be in awe of watching drag queens, drag kings, and even just cisgender people performing as themselves, just with like an extra bit of flair. And I was just like, wow. And at the bar on the left-hand side of the stage, if you're on stage on the left-hand side, there was like 3 steps up, like a little balcony with those horrible wooden railings. There was a table right there. And I would just sit there and watch and watch and watch. And I was like, this is so fun. I was just mesmerized by these performers. And back then the bars would get packed for people to see a show.
There was a lot of support.
There really was. And I remember the one show, I said hi to Claudia Silva and to Deanna Stevens Dior and to Shada Black, and they did not give me the time of the day.
They're all amazing old G queens. I love them.
Legit.
Yeah.
Like So they did not give me the time of day. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Who am I? Just like this little Twinkie kid walking around like, I like drag. And I didn't know any of them at that time. So I just started to be a regular at the bar, became friends with Enzo, became friends with Ron, became friends with Scott, which are their boy names. I met Falynn, I met Judge Judy, I met Nathan Drake, aka Shannon Unruh, Chrissy Snow, all these fabulous people.
Yes.
And then we started just to be there so often, we just started to have a family. And then Halloween came, I can't remember what year it was, but I was like, I want to do drag, I want to do drag. So I was with my friend Stacy at the time. She's like, well, if you're going to do drag, you need a drag name. I'm like, okay, well, Stacy and I were like really good friends. So I'm like, okay, well, I want something that rhymes with Stacy. Macy. Okay. And I like alliteration. So I wanted something to a last name that started with an M. So we're going through all these different names. We're like, Macy Manolo. Macy is in the store, Manolo is in the shoe. And that's where the name came from. And it was because of Stacy Crum. I don't know what her married name is now, but whatever. So it was Halloween night. And I had a coworker, I worked at Accessory at the time. I had a coworker make me this Bride of Frankenstein dress, like an actual wedding dress with black boas and all that other stuff trimmed out. Horrible wig too. Not the best makeup either. So there we are at the bar. I'm wearing black and white. I performed my number. My very first number was Candyman by Christina Aguilera.
Oh.
Right? Nervous as all hell. Nobody paid attention to me except for one person. And that one person was Rhonda Richards, who I think is the oldest drag queen in the Niagara region. And Rhonda came up to me.
And one of the sassiest.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And now one of my dearest friends. And Rhonda came up with me after my number and said, just so you know, I wear black and white. And that was our conversation. I was like, oh. So that was that. That was my very first time doing drag. I didn't make any money at all, but I wanted to be part of this community. I just like, oh, I was in awe. So I just started doing drag all the time because I wanted to A, learn from the people who have been doing it longer than I have, but B, I also want to understand the dynamics of a drag show, of drag etiquette, and whatever the case might be. And my drag mother, by the way, Terry Stevens, one of the most amazing drag performers in all of Canada. Absolutely fabulous. So those individuals were teaching me as we go. So I joined the Imperial Court of St. Catharines. I got to travel to Rhode Island, Kentucky, New York, around Canada, around the States. So it was so fabulous just to learn from all these different people. And my drag back then, like I definitely beat to my own drum, and I still do now. But I thought drag back then is I had to look like a cisgender woman. So yes. I had my eyebrows, like I had them waxed. They were like a pen line, my boy brows. I shaved my legs, so I didn't wear any tights or any hips or body or any of that kind of stuff. I just wore basic little squishy boobs underneath a bra. Okay, well, whatever. But I was young, and okay, it kind of worked a little bit. But yeah, I just kept learning from all these different drag performers. So that was that. Time goes by. I go on cruise ships for 8 years, did very, very little drag from age 23 to 8 years after. And now I've been home for years. And I've probably done drag, well, minus the last 2 years because of COVID. But I did drag the most from 2016 to 2018. In those 2 years, I did more drag then than, the 10 years before.
Did you feel like you found your drag self in that time more so?
I actually, the good thing was while working on cruise ships, there was so much training on public speaking and microphone etiquette and all that kind of stuff. Like my job was a professional announcer. So I could banter with people. I understand how like a dynamics with an audience works. You just can't walk on a stage and be like, listen to me, give me your money. No, you need to learn how, and I was talking to someone the other day, I might want to do like a little 101 mic work with some of the new queens. Like if you want to learn, I would love to teach and share my.
I think that would be something great to share with others.
Yeah, like I want to share what I'm good at. Maybe not makeup tips, but but mic skills, I think I can't be touched on that. And that's just me in my head thinking that. But when
I agree with you. But I do think that that's something that the newer generation of drag queens and kings could benefit from. Just, I mean, presentation is everything, and you can only make a first impression once. And if you're doing drag, you want to make it right every time.
Yeah. And right now with technology, I'm so happy that I didn't have any of this technology when I started in drag, because I had to learn with nothing.
Yeah.
Now there's all these YouTube tutorials and filters and everything else. So people are looking fabulous on the camera, which is great. But when you see them in person, like, that's not you. And they don't have any skills to back up their look. So I was forced to learn those skills, and I would love to work with our new drag performers and just give them my knowledge and help them out. But probably like in 2016, I ran for Miss Pride Niagara. I was still figuring out how to block out my eyebrows, but I won. And then I was doing a lot of drag, and Matt Fancy, aka Helena Poison, originally from Welland, now living in Toronto, taught me a lot about makeup, and so did quite a few other performers. So I just took bits and bobs of everyone. And then this is now, what is it, 2021 now. We got this mug, and for an old lady, I think I'm looking okay.
Fantastic. But it takes a village, and in some ways, to become the true performer, because you got to get the confidence in what to do, right?
Confidence is key. And my heart, and I love entertainment so much because it was my life for so many years. I can spot it, and I don't want to say like, this is me, but I can spot an entertainer who is not confident. And it breaks my heart because I know that they want to do it, but there's a roadblock there.
Yeah. There's something there that's stopping them from that.
Yeah. And like, I want to just help people break that down. And when I went to Miami, I think it was for 4 days, just for like, it was called Crew Staff Academy, where we would be given microphones and would have to host an activity to our, like, the head office of Royal Caribbean International. But they wouldn't be playing, they wouldn't be interacting. They would just be sitting there stone-faced. And you would have to figure out and navigate your way around it over and over. If they didn't, no. So I was so thankful to have that. And yeah, I want to pass that along.
That was like a boot camp that you could maybe do Macy's boot camp. And just like, I'm sure.
One. Oh, go ahead.
Did you ever have times where you were speaking, where you maybe just went completely silent? Did you ever have those times where you've lost the confidence while you were performing?
In drag, absolutely yes. Yeah. Because when you're at a bar or you're at a venue or you're somewhere, when you're performing, I think when I perform, I do the performance for myself, because that means I'm having fun. I don't do a song like, this song is for Falynn, but if I can't connect to the song, I'm not going to give you my heart, you know? So if I'm doing a song and some people are like, oh, she does old school stuff all the time, it's because I'm old. But you see people's faces. You see people whispering, you see people laughing. I did a show the other year, a couple years ago, and I've gained weight over the last 2 years because of COVID. Like, I am going to be flat out, I gained an extra 30 pounds. I'm not 100% comfortable about it, but say love me. It is what it is. I heard someone legit say while I was performing, I think I was doing Boogie Shoes, which is such a fun, upbeat song. And I was wearing like a little low cut kind of thing and low in the back. And someone said back rolls, like they did with Alyssa Edwards on RuPaul's Drag Race. And that threw me off completely.
Yeah.
And I was done by that point. I was just like, I was having fun, and then I just felt shattered. And I do not want anybody to feel like that when they perform. And I've been doing it for years, so I should be able to do like water off a duck's back, like Jinx Monsoon says. But words hurt, faces hurt, and you know, we can push things off as much as we can because we are strong people. I think as a community, we have to be strong for each other and for ourselves.
Resilience is important, but it is also, people need to understand, like, the words you say, if you're out there, whether or not that person hears it, you're putting that energy in, and it's
Yep.
just like, just have fun with it and respect.
Yeah. And now, like, for the last few years, my drag has just been for fun. I want to make people have fun. I want to have people laugh. That's that. If, I know I've done a booking where people have paid me to go to an event. I have made just my booking fee, whatever. Sometimes I've done an event where I have made a lot of money from, and either way, people are still going to get that show that I want them to get. But
no matter if it's a free show or a paid show,
you are going to get a show, because that is me. This is Macy Manolo, and I'm not going to give you XYZ when ABC is all the way up here.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate you sharing all of this with us.
Oh, I talk a lot. I ramble. I don't know if we're already over time.
No, you're definitely, I actually don't even know what time it is. It's 7:41.
Okay, good. I ramble a lot, and I get passionate about things, and yeah.
So do you believe that when you were able to come out as Macy Manolo as well, and people knew, that you had this personality too, was it really accepted well among your friends and family?
Friends, yes, because I made sure I surrounded myself with the right people.
The right circle,
Exactly. Family, not at first. No. My dad actually still has no idea who Macy Manolo is. And I'm okay with that.
Ignorance is bliss.
I don't think he would be, I think that might be too much for him. Like, he can't have two beautiful daughters. I'll give it to my sister. Like, Christy can have like the one beautiful daughter thing.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know if my dad would be, I don't know. I didn't, like, my grandmother passed away at the beginning of COVID.
Oh, my
not from COVID, just like, and I'm so grateful that she passed away before COVID, because my heart breaks for anyone who's in a long-term care facility alone.
I lost my grandfather right before as well, and I understand that 100%.
Yeah. I didn't tell my grandma I was gay. I didn't tell my grandfather on my dad's side I was gay. I don't think that that generation or that side of the family is ready. My dad's sister knows I'm a drag queen and I'm gay, and she's like, yeah, sure, pass the vino. So, like, I have some really cool aunts and uncles and cousins. But my dad and stepmother specifically, I don't know. That's a toughie.
And you're okay with that, though? It's not an issue, right?
That. I am okay with that, because I get to share Macy with my mom and my sister, and my mom is my rock. And she's a fabulous, fabulous woman. And yeah, so I'll leave it at that before I get emotional on that one.
Shout out to your mom.
Oh my God.
And your sister.
Love you, Mom, and my sister.
How do you feel about doing a little Q&A? I think we have some people in the Zoom chat area. I have one question that was sent to us earlier from a Matthew who knows you, but does not know you personally, like what your day-to-day is like. And they were questioning what it's like being out at work, and what's your day like when everybody knows who you are, and how's it functioning at work?
Yeah, well, I will say I present myself as an out and proud gay male. I will say I like to be called a gay male. When I'm out of drag, when I'm in drag, I'm Macy, I'm a drag queen. Pronoun in drag, she, her. Pronouns out of drag, he, him. Where I work right now, I work for Positive Living Niagara. It is honestly the job of my lifetime.
Good.
Before I went on cruise ships, I probably would have thought, like, what? Why? But now that I've been home for a few years, figuring things out, Positive Living Niagara is a community-based organization that offers support services for those affected by HIV and AIDS. And we also offer, we have a syringe program, a safe injection site. We offer education to the community.
Yeah, education and knowledge.
Harm reduction. I'm part of Niagara's PrEP clinic with the Niagara Falls Community Health Center. I'm the educator and intake person for that huge program. So I walked into that job interview 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, as an out, proud, gay male. So this job specifically, No problems whatsoever. You know, I am doing a lot of online outreach. So there's different hookup apps that I'm always on for my job. So answering people's questions, that kind of stuff. Everyone at my work is so accepting because we have to be. And our executive director, Glenn, my boss, Jackie, Vanessa, Talia, the team, they hire the right people for the right jobs. So they have stacked the staff with the right people. Like just yesterday, I went around both of our offices with little progressive pride flag pins, and every single staff member got one of them, and every single staff member got a pride mask that a woman sewed and donated to Positive Living Niagara. So my job.
Was that Cindy Turner by any chance?
No, it wasn't. It was a lovely
she
lady.
did my mask.
Actually, I have. Oh no, it's over there behind this screen. But I do have one of the prize packs from Cindy, and I love Niagara Graphic Solutions. They're fabulous, and it's such a big supporter of Pride too. But yeah. So Positive Living Niagara, huge thumbs up. Yes, they are supportive.
Diversity inclusion is something that they pride themselves on having.
Absolutely. My job before at Old Navy, I was the operations manager at the outlets in Niagara on the Lake. My general manager there, Diane Maxon, and my second manager there, Anne, the two of them, so supportive. And once again, they hired the right people for the right job. Our district manager, same thing. And Gap Inc., Old Navy is part of Gap Inc., they have a Be What's Possible program. So they are all about supporting communities, and the LGBTQ 2S plus community was part of that.
So good to hear all of
So
this.
it started at the top. So I had no problems there. Mind you, every now and then you would get a nasty customer. And one year, a customer called me the F word, not French. No, you can figure out what nice word that was. Called me that, and it that legit triggered me. And it was Boxing Day, or no, it was Black Friday. Sorry. So
those days are stressful as it is.
Right, they're already high stress. So she called me that because I wouldn't let her cut in line to buy a pair of gloves. Sorry, Mary, not gonna happen. Nonetheless, she called me that word, and I dropped my clipboard on the table that was right next to me, and I walked to her. And my general manager, Diane, mom voiced me. She said, "Darryl, stop." And I don't know how she did, but she controlled me. Probably one of the few times any manager has ever controlled. I stopped in my tracks, and she goes, "Back room now." I said, I'm fine. She goes, "No, back room." So her and I went to the back room. Obviously, mall security was called blah, 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 blah. But we sat there and we debriefed and we decompressed and we ate a couple pieces of pizza. But I'm so lucky to have always worked in an environment that has been very accepting. I know some friends of mine who don't have that luxury, unfortunately. It's kind of like they know that they're gay, but it's a don't ask, don't tell situation. So it all depends on your comfort of who you are, and and how accepting the organization is that you're working for. I know we all need to make a living somehow, but would you rather work for an organization that's got your back, or just an organization who's paying you your money? Exactly. Be miserable and go home.
I just want to touch on, I do think you going in and letting people know who you are right off the bat gives them less of a chance to question who you are and talk about you. I mean, sometimes it's just important to call a cat and just be like, this is what I am.
Yep. Right? I've always, boom. I am a proud gay male. Like when I was 16, my very first job was putting newspapers at the St. Catharines Standard, or flyers in the newspapers. Legit, I would stand at a table and do this all day, or evening after school. I wasn't out there, but they had gay and lesbian staff members working there. So it was like, who cares? So
you definitely notice them when you're that age, right? Because like people stand out to you because you're looking for someone that's like you.
Who is me? And that's a problem. It's really hard to see, like, okay, who can I look up to, or who can I relate to? Yeah.
All right. Actually, Christine is not with us. Suzanne, do we have any more questions for our lovely guest?
We do. We have one in the Q&A, Falynn.
All right.
That one. They would like to know, it's Nicole, and Nicole would like to know, what is your favorite thing about doing drag?
Oh, good question.
My favorite thing about doing drag, entertaining people, 100% entertaining people. And I feel that no matter what you do in the entertainment world, if you love what you're doing and you're putting your all into it, you have that glimmer in your eyes. And when you have that moment, you can connect with people. And that entertainment, that moment takes like a basic song and then just blows it out of the water because you're connecting with the audience. And that's what theater and that's what entertainment is. And right now it's very difficult, obviously, because we're using all the Zoom nonsense and you know, we're not face to face, but it's all about connections and building a connections and telling a story, which is fun. You know, you can go up and step touch all you want to a song, but if there is no connection to the story that the song or the journey that the song is taking you on, meh. So that's entertaining is just a big thing. And I like the jewelry and the clothes.
So you really love being able to connect with an audience and entertain, and the jewelry and the clothes, which, you know, looks great on you anyway.
Oh, the jewelry and the clothes are underneath, but the first thing is the connection with entertainment with the crowd.
It's that energy that you get when you know you have an audience that wants to be there.
It is. If you finish a song, and like even when I was thinner, when you finish a song and you are out of breath, A, that means maybe your corset's too tight, or B, it means you just gave it your all. And that's what I like to do. And you know, when I would do drag brunches, I would be in the back change room with like all these fans, like just trying to like cool myself down. And like I needed one of those what are they called? Like the oxygen masks.
All right. Do we have any more questions from our Q&A? If not,
Sorry, yep, we've got another one.
okay, here we go.
This is from Ashley, and Ashley would like to know, do you have a favorite drag outfit? And would you be sharing the story behind it?
I have a couple favorite drag outfits, actually. My first favorite drag outfit. Oh, does an accessory count as well?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna. So my favorite drag accessory are my red thigh-high boots.
Yes.
Love my red thigh-high boots. They are it. Unfortunately, because of all my gym time and cardio that I'm trying to do, my calves are getting a little bit too big. So it takes two people to zip them up. So red thigh-high boots are always my favorite. They're so comfortable and they give me a lot of support. I also have this leopard print bodysuit. It's a cat suit. So it's long sleeves up to here, long pants as well. I always like to wear my red thigh highs or a pair of like fuchsia or bubblegum pink thigh highs over top of it. And a cute little bodysuit underneath it just to kind of cover up all my girdles and all that nonsense. But I just feel so sexy in it. And it doesn't matter it doesn't matter how you identify, what gender you are. Everyone has that one outfit or that one item that makes them feel sexy, whether it be an outfit like a shirt or jeans or a pair of underpants. You know, whatever it is, someone has that, you know, puts that little extra pep in your step and gives you that little extra confidence. And that's what that outfit does to me. Does for me, I should say. I just love it. It's my favorite.
Awesome. Do we have any more questions?
We have some comments that I'd love to share. Most particularly this one. It says, I love you and I'm extremely proud of you. Double heart, mom.
Oh,
right?
Oh,
I thought that
live
might
for
get
moments
you.
Don't make me cry because I'm wearing makeup. When I say my mom is my rock, like complete truth. Like we're leaving it there. Yeah.
That's a beautiful comment from your mom.
It really is. Just one other from Aaron, who hopes that you will be able to tell your story to us again once we can all actually meet in person. I find you very inspiring.
Oh, I would love that. I would so love to. The one thing I keep telling people is I cannot wait to hug you. And like, that is a big thing. I cannot wait to hug you, to tell you, and to show you how much I appreciate you. That's a big thing. And we have, as part of the LGBTQ2S+ community, we have chosen family. We not only have blood family, we have chosen family. And some people only have chosen family. So when we can't see them often, or show them how much we appreciate them with a hug, or you can't see a smile when you got a mask up to here. That's something that I just want to show people. I appreciate you and I love you, and words can do it too, but sometimes you need to have that physical moment to have your souls connect.
I would love to have you in person. When we were first doing this, we only did it in person. I love the fact that we're able to do it now online. There's a greater reach. More people are hearing your story. But I mean, I would love to have you in person, and hopefully that's something we can do one day.
Oh, I would live.
Is there any other comments or questions that anybody has?
No other questions. Lots of love pouring through the comment section.
I love that. I've got one
Lots
last
of
question then.
All right, one last question.
What is your power song? What is your song that makes you go, I'm excited to do this one?
Okay, I actually just filmed it today.
Okay, awesome.
And I've done it before at drag brunches. I filmed today for the Pride show, because there's going to be Pride Niagara is doing their virtual celebration on Saturday.
Yes.
So, and I said, yes, I'll perform for it. And I filmed it today. Pink is the artist, because I think Pink, remember when I talk about entertainers?
Yes.
She is an entertainer in every
I saw her live, so I give you 100% all of the yeses.
Like, you soothe my heart. That's fabulous. So the song is Raise Your Glass by Pink. That song gives me so much life. It gives me so much energy. It gives me so much love just to give. And then my second favorite song, just because it allows me to breathe, is When You're Good to Mama from Chicago, the musical.
Oh, I love that.
But I like the Queen Latifah version. She did the movie musical. I really like her version. But when I worked on The Allure of the Seas, when I was with Royal Caribbean, we had Chicago the musical on board. So I've legit seen the Broadway musical of Chicago over 100 times.
That's awesome.
There was a woman named Linda Jean-Pierre, and she was no taller than 5 foot, and she played Mama Morton. And the voice that came out of that body, the audience, and during that song, When You Get to Mama on in the Broadway production, Mama just stands there, legit stands in the center of the stage and sings the song. There's no choreography, there's nothing. And she's wearing a black suit. And there's no, the backdrop for Chicago is all black anyways. But she just captivated. If I could, I don't know, she lives in England. If I could just send her a message, hey, can you film, can you record this for me? Because her voice is just everything in life.
I may have to go watch that tonight after the show.
So
now, this is one of my favorite parts, because, I mean, not that I haven't loved every moment of this, but Macy has a t-shirt. I don't know if you have more than one, but right now your merchandise is a t-shirt that you're going to be giving away to the people that are in the Zoom box tonight. So do we have a winner, Suzanne, of the people that we're joining in?
Maybe.
And we're going to make sure that we get that out to the winner. The museum has graciously offered to mail that to the winner.
Yeah, wherever it may be.
Wherever it may be.
But yeah, so probably back at the beginning of the year, I commissioned an amazing artist from Toronto to make me into a cartoon character.
Yeah.
So from there, I got it. It's absolutely Eve 6000 was the artist who did it. An amazing drag performer as well, side note. So I have it on Redbubble. If you go on redbubble.com, Macy Manolo is my shop. You can get shirts, tank tops, towels, shower curtains, bedding.
Bedspread. I did see the bedspread. I did see that.
Not have to break your makeup getting all over the pillow. But yeah, so I have merch online at redbubble.com, but I will be giving away one free t-shirt to a lucky individual this evening just for joining us. And who is it going to be?
And I do have the winner now. The winner,
Wait.
yeah, it's Chris Allen.
Chris Allen.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yay.
Thank you so much, Macy, for bringing one.
Yay. So we'll get in touch with Chris, and then we'll find out what size he wants. He, she, he. Well, we don't know. Whatever size they want.
Whatever size they want, we'll figure that out.
And then we will have we'll have to order it custom, especially for you. And then you'll get a free Macy Manolo t-shirt. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Macy. That's amazing. I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who tuned in this evening. I'd also like to thank Suzanne, because Suzanne and Sylvia, Sylvia's new, she's going to be joining us. So Sylvia and Suzanne are in the background making things happen. And I just want to thank everybody, especially Macy Manolo, for making tonight so special. Happy Pride to everyone. Peace and have a great time.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. And is there going to be a little slide coming up as well? Did we end up doing that or no?
We did.
That may not have happened, did it?
Yep, we're going to put that up.
Oh, yay. So there's a fabulous slide coming out with so many awesome resources. So
Yes.
take a little peeky at it. Oh, look at there's Macy Manolo on Instagram, P-Flag Canada, Quest Community Health Center. They are all about 2S LGBTQ plus healthcare. Check them out. They're in Queen Street in St. Catharines. Pride Niagara, if you love drag, they're doing a show at 7 o'clock on their Facebook this upcoming Saturday, June the 5th. All you have to do is go on Pride Niagara's Facebook and join in. Out Niagara, another amazing community organization. They do so much for the community. Positive Living Niagara, they pay me to work for them. So I have to love them. And I do love them. The best stuff ever. And at the very bottom there, the Niagara Falls Community Health Center. I have a partnership with them with Positive Living for Niagara's PrEP clinic. PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's a pill you take every day to prevent HIV, but they also have great services for the 2S LGBTQ plus community.
I couldn't have done that better myself. Thank you so much, Macy. That is a lot of great resources and information that we have available in the Niagara region.
Yay. This has been so much fun.
Yes, it really has been.
Oh, Judy. Oh my gosh, my friend Judy. I also sit on the Senior Pride Network of Niagara Steering Committee, and my friend Judy just mentioned on there. So yeah, check out Senior Pride Network of Niagara. They're fabulous. They're on Facebook. Check them out. I'm so lucky to be on that steering committee as well. So hey, Judy, shout out to you. Oh, and Rick Kennedy's on. Hey, Rick Kennedy, good to see you as well. There's so many
Thank you
people
so much for being on
that
the
I
show.
see. Should we have another hour of just like hellos and shout outs?
We could do 2 hours of that. Jessica Bannerman. Oh, can we just send a huge shout out to Jessica, because she's living in PEI now and we don't get to actually hug her for a while. But I did see in some of her comments on social media that it is her goal to hug Macy Manolo, Darryl, Dyball by the end of this year. We hope that that is possibility. Thank you everyone for watching.
Yay.
Thank you
Peace.
both. And thank you all for joining us. We'll see you again on Not at the Museum Thursday nights.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.